Hey everyone, welcome back to Words of Wisdom. You are entering your wealthiest timeline, and it has nothing to do with money. Listen carefully. So yesterday, February 7th, I uploaded a podcast titled, I Was the Other Woman and Didn't Know It. I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit because what I'm about to tell you is going to tell you why you're entering your wealthiest timeline, and it has nothing to do with money, okay? So, long story short, my first relationship, I dated someone for 14 years, only to find out that he was married and had 2 children. What a shock. It was a huge fucking shock, okay? So I calmly looked at him and said, okay, well, thank you for wasting 14 years of my life. Thank you for making me the other woman, and I didn't even know it. So this is how it's going to go from this point forward. If you ever see me in public, okay, don't approach me, don't look at me, don't talk to me. We don't know each other. And that was that. The second guy we dated for quite a few years, I end up moving in with him, only to find out that he's a full-blown alcoholic, okay? Doesn't matter what had happened in between that. That's what I found out. I moved in for 3 days and I moved out. My third relationship. I'm in my 4th and final now relationship. But my third relationship finished me right off. That taught me to grow, to love myself, to focus on myself, and only make it about me, to love myself. Do what makes me feel happy. Do what makes me feel good. Do what my soul needs to be happy. Right? That's when the universe came down during that third relationship and gave me 6 hours to move out. I was there a little over a year, I believe. Year and a half, maybe. 6 hours. That was the universe crushing down. Doesn't matter what happened or how it happened. That signal came from the universe. I know that now. Back in the day, I never paid attention to my intuition. I never, paid attention to synchronicities, signs. I ignored them. I saw them, I noticed them, but I didn't act on what my messages were. I do now. So if any one of you have gone through shit in your life like that, okay, where it broke you, because I know with all of what I've endured, it broke me. I had to start from scratch. I had 6 hours to find a place to live, etc., etc., etc. You can only imagine. Maybe some of you have been there. Excuse me. That is my throat chakra. Right? You learn hard lessons. Finally, the universe says, okay, she's not listening. She's not paying attention. We're going to give her a sign and we're going to make shit happen and change so abruptly that it's going to make her head spin because she's going to have no choice but to sit down and think about life and learn to love herself. Because that was my lesson, was to learn to love myself. Because I overgave, and I overgave. Man, baby, I'm telling you, I put myself on the back burner for fucking my whole life. I catered to men. If I love them, I give them 200%, if there's such a thing. But you get my drift, right? Only to get shit on, only to get betrayed, only to get lied to, cheated on, everything, black magic, you name it, everything beneath the sun. That's what I've endured. Now, if you've gone through all of that and you've transformed, okay, and you're still slightly thinking about the past, this is for you. If you've grown and elevated and you've gotten to a point where you love yourself, you've got boundaries, no ego, I always say that, no ego, then you are fucking entering, I'm telling you, you are entering your wealthiest timeline, okay? And it has nothing to do with money. So please listen carefully. You are moving into your wealthiest timeline. Not because you chased money, but because you finally understood it. Now I'm going to elaborate on that. Because all the guys I dated, they all had a certain stature about them. They were all self-made and blah, 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 blah. You know, you think money buys happiness? No. You will finally understand it. You've seen firsthand what happens when people become consumed by materialistic things, by status, by control, right? You've watched how money, when it isn't rooted in love or integrity, how it can hollow people out. You've been around those energies far longer than you were ever meant to, okay? That chapter, that was not punishment. That was education. Now you're being released from it. This is your opportunity to choose differently, to define wealth in your own terms. You're realizing there's so much more to life than numbers, possessions, appearances. Because what is money without love? Honestly, what is success without connection? What is abundance if there's no one safe, genuine, and aligned to share it with? The reason you're forced to walk away from certain people wasn't to leave you with less. It was to make room for more. Okay? As long as those people stayed in your orbit, your energy, then your energy was being drained. It was being redirected. It was being blocked. You were never going to fully thrive there. Okay? You wouldn't grow. You wouldn't expand. You couldn't. They're draining you. You were always going to be kept in cycles of lack, of doubt, of missed opportunities. Because some people don't want to see you rise, okay? They drag, they distract, they compete, they sabotage. Not always intentionally, but energetically. And that's why the sun is rising for you now, collective, because you chose growth over comfort. Okay? Awareness over illusion, light over bitterness. You became the light, even when you were surrounded by darkness. Even when it cost you relationships, a version of life you thought you wanted. And because of that, there are people entering your life now who want to give to you. Okay? People who want to support you, uplift you, see you happy. Not because they need something from you or want something from you, but because they genuinely care. Many of them have walked similar paths. They know what it's like to overgive, to be misunderstood, right? To survive emotional drought and still keep their heart open. That's why you are an ultimate wish fulfillment yourself, collective. Okay? You did the inner work. You faced yourself. You healed instead of hardened. And that alone makes you very rare. Okay? Anybody would be lucky to have you in their life. And fuck anyone who ever made you feel like you didn't belong, like you were too much, okay? Right? Or like having a big heart was a sign of weakness. It never was. Those people were simply angry because they don't know how to love themselves. And when someone else shows up whole, it exposes what they avoid. Okay? That's their shit to deal with, not yours. The divine sees you. The divine knows the size of your heart. The divine knows you deserved far more than what you were given. So the divine redirected you. That's why blessings are finding you now, not as a reward, but as alignment. You are being appreciated for everything you endured because you didn't let it poison you. You transmuted it. You used it for good. You chose growth over greed, over purpose, and over power. Sorry, I take that back. I don't know, universe, no, saying, rephrase. You chose growth over greed, purpose over power. Thank you, Spirit. That makes sense, right? You chose growth over greed and purpose over power. Yes, the world can be greedy. It can be loud. It can be distracting. But this is the moment where you decide who gets access to you. Okay? It's time to move away from what drains you and toward what nourishes you. That choice requires sacrifice. It will require sacrifice, but it will be worth it every single time. I promise you that. You have to clear out what isn't for you to make room for what is. And don't let fear talk you out of what your soul already knows. Fear always shows up when you're standing at the edge of expansion, okay? But desire placed in your heart by God is never random. It is directional. When you let fear stop you from pursuing what's meant for you, don't be surprised when opportunities pass by. But here's the truth. You don't actually lose what's meant for you. You only delay it. And lucky for you, what's waiting for you on the other side of the unknown is complete fulfillment, complete alignment. A version of wealth that feels peaceful, abundant, and deeply satisfying. Okay, you guys? This next chapter is worth the risk. This next chapter in your life is worth the risk, worth the faith, worth the leap, okay? You just had to believe in yourself. You've got this. If this message resonated with you, if it felt like it was speaking directly to your soul, please like this video. Share it with someone who needs to hear that they're not broken, they're not behind, they're not too late, they're becoming. And subscribe to this channel so we can keep growing, healing, and rising together. You never know who you might help just by passing this message along. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing alignment. And thank you for choosing yourself. I'm proud of you. Keep going. I love you all. Be blessed.